Do you want to be like this player, dealing over 100,000 damage to mobs? Then keep watching the video. In Skyblock, there are weapons, there are armor sets that boost weapon damage, and there are also random collectibles known as talismans which give you a tiny boost in stats. A boost everyone wants to get so much that they are willing to pay 15 million coins for a small stat boost. Bait ring. So, what has Skyblock done to us? Making us pay millions of coins just to see a tiny boost in the numbers we all know and love, known as crit damage and strength. Is this the world we all live in now, where we pay millions of coins for just a little tiny boost in crit damage? Skyblock is addicting, just stop playing it. But yeah, today's video aims to educate you guys on how to maximize your in-game damage, whether it be early, mid, late, or even endgame. I'll be splitting this video into 5 sections, with the first 4 sections covering the recommended talismans you want to get in the early, mid, late, and endgame separately, with the last section being reserved to talk about the tips and tricks on how to maximize your damage through the Reforges. So, let's begin! However, before we start, I would like to tell you guys that I am celebrating my 200 subscriber goal, which has just been achieved a few days ago. And because of that, I'll be hosting a massive giveaway on my Discord server. I will be giving away one full set of unstable dragon armor, one thick tactician's sword with a wood singularity on it, as well as 3 lucky players who will walk away with 1 million coins, along with aspect of the ends, as well as snow minions which are tier 11 and maxed, and also enchanted glowstone and enchanted redstone blocks to all be given away. So feel free to join the Discord server down in the description below in order to join and participate in this massive 200 subscriber giveaway. And also, on my Discord server, I do put many polls for you guys to choose as to what video I would like to make next. So if you would like to participate in helping me decide what video I should make next, be sure to also join the Discord server down in the description below. So with that, let's begin. For early game, these are the talismans that I would recommend. Farming Talisman, which is unlocked in Wheat 4, Vaccine Talisman, which is unlocked in Potato 3, Night Vision Charm, which is unlocked in Mushroom 7, Speed Talisman, which is unlocked in Sugarcane 2, Feather Talisman, unlocked in Feather 4, Talisman of Coins, unlocked in Emerald 2, Magnetic Talisman, unlocked in Emerald 3, Gravity Talisman, unlocked in Obsidian 3, Wood Affinity Talisman, unlocked in Oak Wood 8, Frozen Chicken, which you get from completing the checkpoint 3 in the Jerry's Chicken Racing event during the Season of Jerry event, which happens every late winter. And last but not least, Melody's Hair, which you can get from completing Melody's Harp in the park. And also, not to forget the talismans that you can buy from the NPC shop in the hub, namely the Zombie Talisman and Skeleton Talismans, which can both be bought for 500 coins each, and the Village Affinity Talisman and the Mine Affinity Talisman, which can be bought for 2,500 coins each, and also the Intimidation Talisman and the Scavenger Talisman, which each can also be bought for 10,000 coins from the NPC in the hub known as the Adventurer. So, all of these talismans I mentioned here are relatively easy to get for even an early game player. So, some of the talismans that I feel are the most important for you to collect will be the Magnetic Talisman, the Gravity Talisman, the Wood Affinity Talisman, the Frozen Chicken, and Melody's Hair, along with Intimidation Talisman, Zombie Talisman, and Scavenger Talisman. Now, the reason why I say Magnetic Talisman and Gravity Talisman are essential to get early on is because they are uncommon talismans, and they are by far one of the best talismans you can get as soon as you start off. Because they are uncommon talismans, when you reforge them, they tend to give higher stats. Frozen Chicken, which is rare, makes it even better, so you get even higher stats. And Melody's Hair is the first epic talisman which you can get really early on if you are willing to put in the time to play some garbage rhythm game. So you also want to get the Zombie Talisman because you can upgrade it to the Zombie Ring very early on and later in mid game. And you also want to get the Intimidation Talisman because you can upgrade it to an Intimidation Ring and an Intimidation Artifact during spooky festivals in the near future when you enter mid game and end game. And also a Scavenger Talisman because it just gives you a lot of coins. It's just generally very good. It costs 10,000 coins, but I guarantee if you buy it, you will make over 100,000 coins from it in your lifetime. It's a very valuable investment. So with that, let's move on to the mid-game talismans. The mid-game talismans I would recommend would be the Feather Ring or Artifact, which is unlocked at Feather 7 or Feather 9 respectively. Potion Affinity Ring or Artifact, unlocked at Netherwart 7 and Netherwart 9 respectively. The Haste Ring, unlocked at Cobblestone 8. Experience Artifact, unlocked at Lapis Lazuli 9. Farmer Orb, which is unlocked at Pumpkin 6. Piggy Bank, unlocked at Raw Pork Shop 5. Fire Talisman, unlocked at Blaze Rod 5. Lava Talisman, unlocked at Magma Cream 7. Sea Creature Talisman or Ring, unlocked at Sponge 4 or Sponge 6 respectively. Healing Talisman, unlocked at Lily Pad 3. Wolf Talisman, which it is a drop from the old wolves. When you kill them, they have a 0.5% drop chance. Pig's Foot, which you get upon completing the end race in 48 seconds or less. You should also consider getting the Wolf Paw, which you get it from completing Gustav's Wood Race in the park in 38 seconds or less. Red Claw Talisman, which you get from Wolf Slayer level 1, you can craft it, it's really easy. Zombie Ring, you unlock the recipe at Zombie Slayer level 2, but you also require a Zombie Talisman to upgrade it to a Zombie Ring. The Spider Ring, you require Spider Slayer level 1 along with a Spider Talisman, which you get from the Brood Mother that spawns at the top of the Spider's Den every 1 hour. You can then upgrade it to a Spider Ring as soon as you reach Spider Slayer level 1, which is really easy for even a mid-game player. And the last two talismans I feel that are very important for a mid-game player would be the Candy Artifact and the Bat Artifact, which you can get both during the Spooky Festival. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the late game players and what talismans you should want to get. You want to get the Wolf Ring, which is an upgrade from Wolf Talisman with a weak Wolf Catalyst. You also want to get a Fish Affinity Talisman, which drops from the Water Hydra. You also want to get a Red Claw Egg, which is a Red Claw Ring, which you get from Wolf Slayer level 5. You want to get a Devourer Ring, unlocked by Revenant Slayer 5, Spider Artifact, unlocked at Spider Slayer 7, Survivor Cube, which is a reward from hitting Spider Slayer 7, Zombie Artifact, which the recipe is unlocked at Spider Slayer 7, the Campfire God Badge, which you get it from completing the Troll of Fire level 22 in the park or higher. You also want to get the Healing Ring, which is Lily Pad 8, Sea Creature Artifact Sponge 8, and the New Year Kickback, which is 250,000 coins, which you can buy it from the baker in the hub during New Year's Day. You also want to get an Intimidation Artifact, which is also gotten during the Spooky Festival. You also want to get a Night and Day Crystal, which are both in Quartz 7 and Quartz 8 respectively. So, moving on, for endgame players, what talismans will you want to get? You want to invest in an Ender Artifact and a Wither Artifact, which both can be bought from the Dark Auction. You also want to try to get the Legendary Ring of Love, which you get it from 100% completion of Romero's Quest. You also want to get a Red Claw Artifact, which is unlocked at Wolf Slayer level 5. And you also want to get a Tarantula Talisman, which is also, by the way, a very good talisman, which has a chance to drop at Spider Slayer 6 or higher. Once it hits Spider Slayer 6, once you fight tier 3 and tier 4 bosses, there are a chance for those bosses to drop a Tarantula Talisman, which is, by the way, a very good talisman. Now, beyond these talismans, the rest of the talismans that I will be saying right now would be talismans that may not be very worth it to get even for an endgame player, and the three talismans that I would not really recommend for even endgame players to get would be the Hunter Ring, the Bait Ring, and the Shady Ring, Crooked Artifact, or Seal of the Family. The reason why all three of these talismans are just not very good is because these three talismans are by far the most expensive talismans in the game. Seal of the Family can be bought from the auction for 30 million coins. Hunter Ring can also be bought from the auction for 30 million coins if you know someone selling it. And the Bait Ring, the OG of the most expensive talismans, costs around 15 to 18 million coins to buy from the auction. And because of that, all these three talismans aren't even legendary in rarity. I wouldn't recommend for you guys to get it, and I would recommend you guys to save those three talismans to be your last talismans to ever get, because they are the most expensive and they aren't even legendary. So now moving on to the final part, also known as tips and tricks. So here's some general useful tips when reforging your talismans. Number 1. For epic and legendary talismans, it's generally better to reforge to godly if you do not have enough crit chance. If you already do have enough crit chance, then reforge it as strong. Strong gives you more crit damage as compared to godly, but it doesn't give crit chance. So if you already have 100% crit chance or 80% crit chance, if you want 80%, then just do full strong, because it does give you 2% extra crit damage for legendaries and 1% extra crit damage for epic. So number 2, if you still don't have enough crit chance after reforging your epic and legendary talismans to godly, reforge your commons and uncommon talismans to zealous or godly. Number 3, don't reforge unpleasant on your common and uncommon talismans. It is extremely stupid and a very common mistake I see. Why is it so? Because unpleasant doesn't give strength, whereas godly and zealous give strength, crit chance and crit damage. And unpleasant only gives crit chance, crit damage and intelligence. 1 intelligence or 2 intelligence is inferior to the extra 1 or 2 strength you would be getting from reforging your talismans to zealous or godly, and thus it is extremely wasted on a power level wise, because you could definitely get a lot more damage if you reforged all of your unpleasant talismans to godly or zealous because of the extra strength they do give. Number 4, crit damage gives diminishing returns at higher levels, but strength gives higher returns at higher levels. Thus, when you're at 100% crit chance, it is better for you to go for the strong reforge. However, in some cases, an extra 2 to 4 Ichi reforges could be better than leaving the rest as strong. Number 5, with these tips, you can generally come close to your maximum damage output with your talismans. However, if you want to see your true maximum damage potential, you might want to join this Discord server, which is made by another fellow Minecrafter who also plays Skyblock, which made a bot that calculates the reforges that you want to maximize your damage to the fullest. And you can join this Discord with the link in the description down below. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video and consider joining the Discord server for future giveaways and to subscribe for future notifications on my new videos. And with that, Furball the Hammy signing out.